There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. In God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing the gambler needs is a suitcase and trouble, and the only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drum. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one brother and a black one, the other foot on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. In God, I know I'm one.
Okay, welcome to Night Freaks number 18. My name is Grady George. A lot has been going on today. A lot to talk about, but I'm going to save that for later, okay? We've got a video. First of all, we know when Elisa is doing her next show. We know what kind of show it's going to be. We know everything about it, okay? I've got people everywhere, Elisa. As far as I know, Lindsay is still missing, but we'll talk about that later. But I want to bring up my first guest tonight. And this really goes into my point the whole week. Elisa has chosen to badmouth Grady George. I am not going to badmouth her. But instead of trying to discredit me, Elisa, why don't you do the right thing and tell what you know about this to the community? Because you put the community in danger And you think that I'm over exaggerating? Well, tonight's first guest is someone that Elisa put directly into danger by inviting Madman Jimmy onto Kermit and Friends and allowing him to make moves within. Luna, are you there?
Yeah. So Jimmy and I never had like a romantic relationship. I want to clarify that. Nor did we ever like have any like anything where we were like explicitly sexting. At least not on my part, you know.
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. How old were you when it happened? When it started?
Um so he was already part of Kermit and Friends when my dad introduced me to Kermit and Friends at the end of 2015 when I was still 17.
Okay, so your father is a viewer of Elisa's?
Yeah, you've actually spoken to my father before.
Yes.
But
So
like
so you were 17, you said?
yes.
Okay, so how did you come into contact with Jimmy? How did that happen?
He saw me on the show and we started DMing on Twitter, which the account that we were talking on has like been suspended. So I don't have any of the message transcripts. I only have like the old email logs from Twitter.
Okay.
Which at first all we talked about like my classes in school, my intellect. He would compliment me for like my hyperlexia, and we
What is
just talk about like
what is hyperlexia for those that don't know?
people who have like who pick up reading really quickly and have large vocabularies.
Okay. So continue.
And that was like before I turned 18. After I turned 18, he sent me a message less than a month after my birthday, talking about how now I'm a legal adult and he had been wanting to say for a while that I was sexy as fuck and that he could say it without getting in trouble with NBC Dateline.
How did you take that? Were you still taking him as a Christian at this point?
He wasn't Christian at the time.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
No. He was like very much I don't even know. I didn't know anything about the occult or anything at that time, and he was making occult references to me at that
What
time, and I had no idea what he was talking about.
what year was that?
2016.
Okay, so we're talking about like 7 years ago. So he wasn't a Christian then, and he already knew Elisa, right?
Yeah.
Did you know about the poop eating?
No, I had no clue about any of like the scat stuff until very recently.
Well, I know as long as I've watched Elisa, which is only a few years, I've known him as Jimmy poop eating. When did you only like recently found out?
Yeah, because he was like talking about it on live with her a couple weeks ago, I believe. And I really wasn't, I didn't want to watch the stream because I haven't really, Elisa to me isn't fun anymore. She's not fun anymore to me, and I haven't been paying attention to her or her streams or anything, but I was watching for Jimmy that day and I just had it on as like background noise and they were like discussing it.
So after the birthday compliment, where did it go from there?
He would compliment me publicly a lot and privately. At some point there was discussion about he had invited me to go out and live with him wherever he was as like a live-in assistant, but there was no like written down like expectations like what that meant, like what I'd be doing, right?
Right.
And I think it was like complicated because I have animals and stuff.
He doesn't
And
like animals.
I didn't really like know the guy that well, and I didn't really like feel comfortable. And I think he like there was some sort of like drama within the community about it, but I don't remember exactly everything that happened. I have like severe memory lapse about a lot of this stuff.
Okay, so you never had any kind of relationship with him, but you said you never have had
I think
clever
it, I
sex
think
that you know
if
of.
I think if I had you know alluded to the idea of wanting a relationship, he would have been down for it. I think.
Yeah. And why were you talking
But
to Jimmy?
but I had always kept like a boundary that like it's okay for him to compliment me, but it doesn't go any further than that.
So you well, it doesn't even matter really, but um, why were you talking to Jimmy though?
I liked him as a person. I found him incredibly interesting. I liked how well spoken he was. I found him
Mm.
to be funny. He would sing this sometimes. I don't know. I just found him to be an interesting person, and I at the time I was agnostic and I would use like Satanism to be edgy, and I didn't know anything about the occult, but he would like make references to it with me, and we would talk about esoteric stuff, metaphysical, spirituality, the occult. But I didn't get we didn't get down into like this deep dark like satanic like ritualistic like demented brainworm shit, you know?
So it sounds like you were just young and you
Whatever
were
he was really
exploring a new
on.
topic, kind of, right?
Did the fact
Yeah, he was a friend, and I didn't think anything of it. I was oblivious to all of the stuff.
Yeah.
And it like knowing all this stuff now and then putting things that he said into context with new information makes me feel like it's haunting.
Yeah.
well,
So
you
can
said
you
you
tell
had
us?
animals. How do you feel about the animal abuse? You know, did he ever
It
talk to
makes
you about your animals?
Oh, I'd send him pictures of my cats all the time, and he'd always talk about how he was like a cat person and he loved cats.
Oh, he does. He definitely
Oh
does.
yeah, yeah,
If
he
you read that,
definitely he loves cats so much. He gets so much cute aggression from cats.
was he requesting the pics, or you were just sending them to him?
I was just sending them to him, like as you would with a friend, like somebody that you trust. Like
Did
you
he
would just like
ever
send a friend a picture of your cat or your dog or whatever, like
Yeah.
not even think anything of it.
did he ever start talking to you pervertedly, like really weird shit?
When he did, I would get real short with him.
But I mean, he
Like I
never
would
was
give him
like.
like one word answers.
Hmm. So, do you think that if he had not been a part of Elisa's show, would you have been talking to him?
I don't think so. I think like the universe like threw all of this shit in together somehow. Like this is like I feel very like fucked up about this shit. You know?
Well, my thing is, if you meet Jimmy on Discord or whatever, and he's just Jimmy, and you're looking at him, and he's acting kind of weird and all that, versus you meeting Jimmy, who's from the Kerman Friends show, do you think it made a difference that you continued talking to him?
I think
Because
so, probably.
yeah, that's my point.
I wasn't really in communities before that.
Right. Well, I have an experience with Elisa. I'm going to share later, but yeah, she puts people in danger, and this is the child of someone that watches her in her community. I would like to urge anyone that has children, like teenage children, that might be exposed to Elisa. You might want to talk to them if Jimmy has been talking to them at all.
Yeah. Does your dad still watch Elisa?
Yeah.
Oh,
My dad actually wants to go to Florida and us like meet Elisa.
is he
And
someone well known in the chat or in the community or in the Discord?
Grady interviewed him like a month ago.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
What?
it's Johnny B.
Oh, okay, okay,
He's a You Now streamer. He's also
cool.
connected to the Stern universe somehow.
Yeah,
He's a big Stern fan, so I think
I got you.
that's probably why he likes Elisa. I guess
Yeah, okay.
So before Talk of Kermit and Friends got banned on the Howard Stern show, like on Sirius, um, he had heard Elisa talk about it, or Benji or somebody talk about it at least once, and then he looked it up. And it was one of my visitation weekends because my parents were divorced, and I was here for the weekend, and Kermit and Friends was on, and he got super excited, and of course he's proud of his daughter. He wants to show her off. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm in front of a webcam talking to Benji Bronk about what instrument I play in the marching band.
so that was like exciting to you, right?
Yeah, at first, yeah.
The Benji was cool, right?
Oh yeah, it was cool. Like imagine being like 17 and talking to someone online who's even just a little bit famous, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, to me, it's like I almost have to blame Howard Stern, right? Because, yeah, I mean, I feel like Howard Stern needs to tell Elisa to stop using his name every day.
Well, she's learned a lot of tricks from him.
I know, but I wonder if Howard likes to be connected to a woman that harbors a satanic serial animal killer. He's married to Beth, the animal shelter person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He needs to maybe like let Elisa know he's not cool with her using his name literally every fucking day, and she's not been connected with them for like 2 decades,
I used to book guests for her on when she did the Spreecast live stream when I was 17. I would book guests for her, and I was asked not to mention that she had any connections to Howard Stern
so you've been
because
in the community for a long time. Have you
because
have you
they
kept
weren't even
tabs
allowed
on
to talk about her.
have you kept tabs on like her community since then, or have you just kind of come back since this happened?
So it's been a very rocky 7 to 8 years. Um,
What I was gonna ask.
I've been in and out of the community. There's like a small niche portion of the community that's really tight knit that's stuck together from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was part of like what pushed Elisa to come back and start doing like YouTube, and when she did Kermit and Friends. Once she started doing like IRL, I kind of stopped paying attention. Like I would tune in like maybe once a month.
Gotcha. What I was gonna ask.
I relatively don't have any idea what's been going on, except for
Okay.
what people have told me.
So there hasn't been any other people who have gotten exposed like this in her community that you know of?
Have you seen the manifesto?
I have not seen it. I have not read it.
Have you heard what the show we were?
I listened to bits and pieces of your previous live streams about this.
Okay. Are you like scared about any of this?
I don't want to like read it and then look at dates and then compare it to messages and think about like him doing anything in any sort of relative nearness to him talking to me, right?
Right.
Because looking at old messages with him where I think I'm just having a normal conversation with a friend, and then reading what he says with what I know now, it's like it's a veiled confession. It's like he's saying something extremely vague. He's not admitting to anything, but it's like a little confession. Like he gets off on like hinting at shit.
Yeah, he's always, that's why I want to talk to Elisa, but she's like ignoring me. She needs to really think, because I know for a fact he's been doing shit to her, and she doesn't even fucking know. You know, and he's probably been telling her what he's doing to her while he's doing it by saying he used to do it before he found God and all this fucking shit, you know? So probably whatever he was saying to you that was weird around that time, Elisa, he was probably literally doing to you. You can see that's his motive, how he operates, you know, throughout the manifesto. I personally also believe that he was most likely jerking off to Elisa's endless dog humping videos and licking her mouth. I bet the mouth licking one really got him a sweet nut, Elisa. So why don't you continue to let dogs faux fuck you? Because that's real funny, right? But anyway, let's continue. What would you like to see happen, Luna? I mean, are you still a member of the Kermit and Friends community?
I mean, I haven't even been active on Discord in like weeks, like a couple of months, until like somebody told me about this. And when they told me about it, like at first it hit me like denial. And then panic starts to set in.
Right.
And you get curious and you start going through old messages and like trying to like see if he did say anything weird. But now knowing shit, like knowing what he was actually on about, like everything he says is weird.
Oh yeah, it's really weird. I mean, but it makes a lot of sense too. I mean, I'm kind of realizing that, you know, he's probably been telling us the whole time, you know what I mean? Everything he's doing.
He
We just
made
need
made references to a storage unit years ago.
Yeah, I've heard the storage unit too. He like kind of lives out of this, but we don't know why he's in that town. It's got a 666 zip code. There's numerology throughout it all. I mean, the dates he's committing the degradations and stuff like that. It's really fucked up. I mean, it's clearly satanic ritual magic. And he does talk about that a lot. So, and did he talk to you about that at all? About him practicing magic?
We discussed numerology and like angel numbers and stuff. He never told me like how, like he never told me anything specific about his like practice or like what he did like magically. There was a time that I was venting to him again, like a friend, talking about something really rough that was going on in my life involving an ex and some baby mama drama. And he had proposed doing a banishing spell which would get rid of her. And he would start talking about like really dark shit, like her dying. And the funny thing is I completely blacked this out of my memory until very recently, because he actually made references to this conversation because I did expose him publicly for it when it happened, because he was reading too much into what I was saying, and I was hoping that he was just joking about what he was saying.
Yeah, well, clearly he was not. You know what I mean? So
Like he wanted
sure.
he was like making like graphic like fantasies in his head about like my ex's baby mama dying. And I would get extremely short with him on the messages. Like, I would let him go on and on until I realized like 100% what he wanted this quote unquote spell to do.
Right. Well, I mean, so you're still in the community?
I'm outside of it. I've
You're
really
outside
like
of it?
I've isolated myself because I would rather just be alone in my bedroom all the time. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't even want to go downstairs and like stress and drama.
You're breaking up there like the last couple of sentences.
I'm sorry. There's just a lot of stress and drama associated with the community, and I don't find the community fun to be a part of anymore. Like there's no benefit for it with it for me. And this stuff is really disappointing to me. Like with Jimmy,
Yeah, it sucks ass.
Yeah. And it
Like-
sucks that you're depressed and isolated in your room. But I happen to know for a fact that Lisa does not care because we have a
Right.
call we're going to listen to, and I want you guys to hear this. And she does not care. So my attitude with Elisa, I feel like she is evil, and I have not been. It's kind of weird because I only know Elisa very little from the community. I hardly ever speak to her. But she does not care about any of you. You know what I mean? I felt like
She really doesn't.
no, not after. She literally thinks that she's going to do a show soon, and that nothing's different's going to happen. What do you think about that? What do you think's going to happen next time Elisa?
She's just gonna get donos from people being outraged that she has just not acknowledged anything that's gone on with Jimmy outside of the Discord server. The people who aren't in Discord don't give a fuck about like what happened in
just stop
Discord.
watching.
Right?
People stop watching. Don't do the donos. Don't do the rage donos. That's what she wants. So just stop watching. Stop chatting. Go watch.
And that's what he
Rage.
wants anyways. If Jimmy was around and he like knew that
Yeah,
if he
would want
could
the
do
rage
this-
exactly.
donos to keep
He's
going.
taking credit. He
would
tells
want
her
this.
he's taking credit for all of her future success, basically.
Yeah, and he wants this. He wants people to discuss him.
Yeah.
The way that he did what he did, the way that he confessed everything, he wants it to be national news. He wants
That's why
it to
I'm
be
kind of sick of talking about it already. I want to listen to this video. Jimmy can suck our dicks. I'm never gonna talk about that guy again, honestly. Unless he needs to.
I hope it's over, but I have a feeling it's not. I mean, guys like him, and you can look at the pattern through his manifesto. He's doing a sex magic ritual, even turning himself in. That's a final self-sacrifice. And that's like the last stage when you do that. So that's usually like you've already killed the human sacrifice. But he doesn't confess to anything like that. But
To me, that just sounds like schizophrenia. That doesn't sound like he's like
after he completes his spells, the final sacrifice is his own life. So he turns himself into the police department. He's intending to go to jail for life, and and be in misery, like how he put those kitties and tortured them. He wants to be like that too. He wants to die in pain and misery, through his own hands, his own doing, by turning himself in. It's all part of the ritual. That's why I really fear that there are human victims.
Oh yeah, I have a really gross gut feeling about that storage unit.
And guys like him, it's very common. They will never, like, they tell all the shit up to the humans to get themselves in jail, and they use that to suck the energy off of it. But when it starts to die down, that's when they will start releasing the dead body names, you know what I mean? And they'll do them very slowly, like it takes years to get it out, so that they're, constantly getting this rush from it, And they can also save that to make deals for themselves, like Jimmy might get to have like a little like McDonald's, treat if he tells, about the little kid he fucking killed or something like that. So
I don't talk about this anymore, Grady. Let's listen to the video.
All right. Do you want to stay on the line for the video, Luna?
Sure.
All right. Let me bring that up here.
I wish we knew someone who was like very versed in that occult stuff. We could bring him up and like tell them about some of that stuff,
Yeah, on my update today, I am looking for an occult expert. If we have anyone in the audience, or if you know anyone,
I know Billy John. You know Billy John? He knows a lot about that shit. I bet he would know.
We could have him look it over. I mean, I want somebody that really knows what the fuck's going on, because they would have a field day with this, man. And I would like to know, because we don't. I think that he has some kind of demon, female demon that he worships, like a feminine spirit.
Lilith.
No, it's not Lilith. It's something else. And
He and I have discussed Lilith in the past, though.
oh yeah,
And he would call me the Queen of Hell, and he would call me Lilith.
yeah. He's mentioned Elisa as Lilith,
Ooh,
and that's from the Jewish Torah. So
Sounds
I think
about
it's
right.
like it's also a Jewish reference.
Yeah.
But she was basically, I think, I don't know it exactly, but I think basically she was made exactly like Adam, and she would fight with him all the time. So God banished her to hell. She became
She
like a devil's
didn't
bride or
want to
something.
submit. She didn't want
Yeah.
to submit because she saw herself as equal to him.
So that's when he killed Lilith, or he banished her to hell, and I think later on she becomes like Lucifer's wife or something.
She's in demonic lore. She's married to like 3 different demons.
Oh, okay.
She's married to Asmodeus, Lucifer, and Samael.
And you're really into this. So did that come from Jimmy, or was this before Jimmy?
I would make references to Satanism and like Lucifer to be edgy when I was a teenager, but I didn't really look into the Goetia too much until I guess the first like references of the Goetia that I ever saw was Jimmy. But I looked into it on my own, out of my own accord,
So this guy
like
Jimmy from
several years later.
right. So this guy
you've
kind of led you down a dark rabbit hole, all because of Kermit and Friends. And now
Yeah.
it turns out he's a
I find demonolatry to be fascinating, like as a concept to learn about, not as
But
something
not
to
to
like practice.
right.
Because that shit is scary.
Yeah, it is. That's why when Grady started talking about it, like,
I believe in the unseen. I have seen demons and shit with my own eyes. That shit is scary.
and the
I don't
last
want to
thing I
fuck
wanna
with
do
it. I
here-
can feel the energy and it's gross.
Yeah.
And I can confirm that his name was Jimmy. The demon you
watch the
saw with
video.
your own eyes. Okay, let's get going here. So I guess this is a phone call from the voice chat over at Kermit and Friends last night. It's got Elisa, Joni, and Wappy chilling.
You should shout out the creator who put it up.
Oh well, I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait a minute. You see, I can tell you who did it. Hold on. Fuck. Connor, man. Fitness Gandhi.
Thank you, Fitness Gandhi.
Subscribe to him. He's got that Gandhi Fitness.
That's one of Leaf's alt accounts.
Oh, thank you, Leaf.
Thank you, Leaf.
Nice creepy thumbnail you got there, Leaf. That definitely.
So what's the deal? Like
doesn't have
Todd
any
upset you?
territory.
Can I talk to you? Yeah, because I'm trying to catch up. Wappy, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
But, I'm raw right now. First of all, when I first saying that I wanted to go on voice when I tried to call you, and I know you don't want to take the call, but I thought I could really help. First of all, I want to make sure you're okay with the weather and shit. I know it says more Tampa, but so just thinking of you in that realm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because I know you're not.
Yeah, I have family right in the path. Shout out to Aunt Patty. Hope she's doing well. She's actually in West Palm Beach.
That's me. That's where I am.
I know. I remember visiting there.
Your Aunt Patty lives here?
Yeah.
Oh. What's she like?
She's awesome. She's so cool. I haven't spoken to her in years, though.
Really? Does she have a social media presence?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, I was just wondering. Oh, okay.
No, I don't speak to a lot of my family.
Yeah, me neither.
And they found out about Wappy Flanker, and then I had to.
What? Because they found out.
Yeah, I hated that.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
It was so embarrassing. I was like, oh no, my family's watching me right now.
Do they like it, Wappy, or they don't like it?
Yeah, they liked it. They were like, couldn't believe like he was there and stuff. It was funny.
Probably like, what the hell?
Okay.
Should we put it on 2 times speed?
Joni, so you're upset because your friendship with Todd, you feel?
Huh?
Should we put it on 2 times speed till he start talking about us?
Yeah, hold on.
feel is not going on?
No, I was, you know what, this isn't the right form, and I'm sorry, you guys. I'm forgive me for taking up your time. I'm sorry. I was going to talk about, okay, never mind.
Oh, here we go.
Never mind.
No, don't.
Sorry to waste your time, y'all.
It's a tough crowd in here. There's a lot of soundboards in here, and
yeah, I'm confused. I just wanted to talk to a certain, I guess, about something I saw on a stream about someone everybody knows from people that we all know that really upset me and pissed me off. And I know they feel the same way, I would assume. And I just wanted to voice it because I'm sitting here looking at my cat, right? So I thought I could have a conversation and then also some mutual, anyway, I, as far as that man talking to Zero, I apologize because you don't really know, like, I didn't mean to infringe on anybody's free time. She told me to come
You're
in here.
not. Joni, you're not.
Joni, what topic would help you out right now that we could discuss due to this current conditions?
That's Summer.
Oh, cool. Who's talking there?
hey, I want to throw someone on the cot. I got another cot.
Summer Broski, hello.
Right.
There is, what was fine, thanks. What was on my mind, to be honest, was, first of all, watching are just pieces and what I've heard about the stream on that guy that has that show with Jadis and that Connor person reading that personal. I was saying on the news, you don't like when somebody's a killer or a serial killer or somebody for notoriety, you don't go on the national news and say their name because you're giving them whatever, and you don't say about the victims. It's sickening, and I'm venting it. I find
he's a public figure. The second Elisa brought him on the show to be a public figure on a stream that gets thousands of viewers, he lost that right. And the second he decided to touch kids, he lost that right, whether we talk about him or not. If we want to drag his name through the dirt, because
they talk about serial killers by name, like,
of course they
historically
do.
on the news, like, all the time.
Serial killer and every single school shooter.
All the time.
It's called the news. We want to know their real names so we can know who their parents are, so we can know who didn't raise them right, and all that, you know? Like, there's a reason we want to know their real name. I don't know. So that's a dumbass reason.
The reason if you notice, the first few nights we didn't really go into it that much. That third night we read large volumes. They were telling the community, they were downplaying it. They were saying it wasn't as bad as we were saying. And shit like that. We felt forced to have to tell them. She's not saying that anymore. So that's why we did it. We're going to hear her new take on it now. It has to do with Scientology.
Oh, wow.
And it gross for those people, especially that have issues and problems and controversy with Elisa and her show, to somehow make it like a TMZ it's wrong. I don't care. I know the guy's horrible what he's done and so forth. However, I also know a lot of the people in probably this voice chat and so forth, not even me. I'm just more of a newcomer, except, whatever. But I feel like, it's emotional. I mean, because you guys actually were like family almost to this, back and forth and so forth. And to watch those people do that is sickening to me.
Yeah, I really feel for this lady, because I feel pretty sick too, because I have an actual guest on my show who has actually been hurt by Elisa's fucking show and her actions.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I never met this guy in person.
I don't feel Elisa intended to do that, but she will not accept accountability.
She can't admit when she's wrong.
Joni is loyal to Elisa to a fault here. Like, she's gone off the deep end with this, because I told her when she texted me, I said, I'm disappointed in you for how you're taking this woman's side completely. It's gross, because you can turn it off. You don't have to watch us talk about him. It's not like we're like putting a flyer on your door outside your house. We're on YouTube on a random channel talking about this shit. If we want to, we can. It's called freedom of speech. You can go back to Nazi Germany if you want to have people talk about what you want to talk about.
Joni, you seem to think I'm a crass individual. I'm not. I'm a very nice person. I've had a cordial relationship with Elisa for like a couple of years in her community. I've never had a problem with her. She has given me contacts for Grady TV interviews. I actually had scheduled for my mother-in-law to go stream with Elisa just about a month ago, back in July. And Jimmy was hovering around then. And my mother-in-law is a Mexican who Jimmy likes to degrade. So you all think I'm a clout chaser and you think I have no skin in this fucking game. But I almost sent my mother-in-law, who I love dearly, who is incredibly funny. She's been on Battle Cam. I'm very confident nothing would happen to her with Elisa, because if Elisa even tried to get smarmy with my mother-in-law, she would rip her ass up verbally. And my mother-in-law basks in toxic chat. She loves it. I thought she would be perfect for Elisa. It didn't get to work out because they were a little too far apart. Neither wanted to drive the extra way to meet. And, the thought that possibly Jimmy might have said, hey, I'll go pick up this dude's mother-in-law. Even though I know the guy eats poop, I would have to assume he's been running with Elisa for 8 years. Nothing's going to happen. I might have told my mother-in-law to get in the car with this fucking guy. Okay? So, Elisa, man, I'm not really holding you accountable for that. But, yeah, I'm kind of upset. So you need to stop running your fucking mouth about me and start taking accountability and start running your mouth about what Jimmy has done to you and the community. Find out as much as possible from them what he has done to the community. Really think about all of your time with him, because he's been doing shit to you, Elisa. And right now he is completing a satanic ritual magic ceremony that is all about you. And I have one of my people, my shadow producer, he actually called the storage locker in Kansas right before we went on air. And the police have not been there, okay?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Do you think that the ritual is in order to make Elisa famous? Is that what it is? Rich and famous?
No, I'll explain that in a minute. But okay. I want to continue with this storage locker. It's been all the way since, Saturday? We're now Wednesday. Just if they had seen the cops, this manifesto, I have no doubt they would call the Kansas police. They would have been into that storage locker already. I tend to believe that he only gave that confession to a few people, and he did not give it to the police. I think that's part of the attachment ritual. She has to go give that to the police. And if she doesn't, it's some kind of like more power for him and shit, you know? But when she gives it to him, it's part of the, now he's in misery. She backstabbed him, it's part of the torture part for the animal. He's locked up for life. But it's ensuring him in his mind that he's going to own Lisa in hell. That's from what I've been reading about these satanic rituals. So basically, he's made it so that for the rest of Elisa's life, anytime they look at her, they're going to think of him and his crimes. She's going to be miserable. She's going to live out her life the same way he's living out her life, and they're going to be together in hell. And he's going to own her. And I will, if further proof in the manifesto, I believe, or in his last communication, the very last thing he told Elisa was, "I will always love you." So I believe that's a reference. He's
trying to buy her soul or some shit.
I believe that's a reference to that he's going to have her in hell forever. But that's just my opinion. What was the other question, Connor?
Oh, you pretty much answered it. I said, what was the ritual for? Like, what's the goal of the ritual? And you answered it just there.
Yeah, the rituals were he's been doing this since 1979, so it hasn't always been. But when he was in Miami particularly, he was targeting the homeless. And I think he also has brought up on the air a lot about Elisa's satanic dark energy. He calls her Jezebel a lot. He's constantly bringing up this Jezebel song by Brian Eno several times. He really sees her as a conductor of dark energy. I believe he was getting off on how she works with the homeless. And I think it's part of the ritual for her show. I think he would go degrade a homeless person. It would give him that power.
The way that she just makes fun of people.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, everything is just very dark and satanic. And I'll tell you something else about Lisa. I was talking about all the satanic shit, everything. She let me stay in Kermit and Friends. I showed a video on here of a dog graphically fucking her ass as she stuck it out and let him, as the dog buried his face in her back in ecstasy. And I thought that would get me banned. It didn't get me banned. I told Elisa that she should consider doing more positive streams. They could make her money because Nana Pip's streams make me feel good. And she banned me for saying Nana Pip's streams make me feel good.
You're such a Nazi, Elisa. God damn. You turned into such a loser, like, boring person in a few days.
She gets jealous of anybody who makes, like, their own thing after hanging out with her.
Well, what's cool about Nana Pips is I don't have to worry about her hanging out with a poop eater.
Yeah.
I'm 100% positive if you tell Nana Pips you've been eating on a fucking turd, she will be gone very quickly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference between you and somebody with class, Elisa. And I would also like to point out to Joni, while you're sitting here calling me classless, you're talking to a lady who literally used to run around with a fucking known poop eater. You know, she makes fun of retarded people and the homeless. And you're sitting there on your little moral high ground looking up at Grady George, you fucking dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Joni just texted me. She said something huge happened. I don't know what she's going to say.
Yeah, my dick. Fuck off.
Their comments and their suggestions maybe open the gate for something that may or may not have happened. Just like them suggesting, like a little side comment. Oh, maybe there's a bunch of murders when he didn't admit to killing anybody and he didn't have a violent past, stuff like that.
I just don't know why you would go after this all's come out, and I'm sure it's because, part of it too is I guess the other person exposed that on that IP too, which is fucking ridiculous. The confessional. They made it.
Worley did that.
The Worley thing, right. But for the Grady guy, and I don't even really know these people, but for that person, because he's an influencer or what have you, to use it as fodder, it's one thing to be interviewing people, but to actually take that confessional, that's exactly probably what, I don't know if you wanted that or not, but also read the gory details and trigger people. Why do that? I mean, that's gross. That's, you know what I mean? And anyone that does that, I mean, to me, it's a free country, I guess, but there's something fundamentally wrong with that right there. And I will tell you, I haven't talked to Jadis in about 3 weeks. He said I threw him under the bus and blamed everything on fucking me. So I've made my choices. Lisa knows about that on a personal note. And then just randomly last night, I get a text from him after that Penny called me. It's like, yeah, oh no. And saying to me, hey, I just want to, out of healing, I'd like to put an olive branch and trying to bring me back into some kind of like I apologize. And I don't respond. And then he tries to call me and I don't answer. So because I would be saying what I'm saying to you right now. It's gross to me. I can't be friends or even associated, aside from the Lisa thing, for somebody that would lower themselves to do that and read that kind of shit. That cheapens who you are.
Connor said not to tell, don't mention my name no more and this and that.
Yeah, I helped.
I figured that was you.
The history. Yeah, that's sickening what he's doing and reading it out loud.
Yeah.
And he called me too as well to complain to me about Elisa getting booted off Discord and stuff. And he started, telling me you shouldn't, blah blah blah. And so I'm fighting everybody off with swords over here, kicking them over.
You could ignore all those people, Joni.
Right. I stand
up. Block every one of those people if I were you.
Right. I said you don't know what your timing was fucked up, so I'm blocking it. But then, so that's what I wanted to say.
Jada should 100% be blocked. Jada should not be able to contact you right now.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Yeah, I'm not going to. But then last night, Penny calls me. Right. I haven't heard from her in about a week.
Just by the way, you cannot block Jadis. He's going to get up in there.
Week or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's she from?
Buy a new house.
Okay, sorry, I just muted that. She calls me, and this was, it was so. I mean, I like her. I don't have many friends. It's great. I know she's a friend of Elisa in the show, but
how drunk was she?
I mean, I think a little bit, but not funny drunk like the show. It was I would have I was starting to have a conversation, and she'd say, you know, about Elisa. She'd start talking a little bit about that. And because I had orders, I said, listen, she's not taking calls. You need to go in Discord. You need to do this and that. So I was trying to like work it out. And then she kind of started telling me a little bit of the drama, you know, about being, and I can be friends with who I want. If I want to talk to Jadis, if I want to talk to Todd, if I want to be friends with Lala, you know, like she was telling me that. And I said, that's fine. I mean, you do you. I mean, that's fine. But then I said to her, I said, you know what's really gross, Penny? I said, one of the big poppers for me as far as Jadis goes is after when Lala, like when they were up in that hotel and those streams were coming and he kept saying I'm her fiance. And I know that's a fucking lie. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. Sorry. I know that's a blatant lie. I know there's no, and then she brought up, well, Andy Dick says he's the fiance and that's a lie. And I was like, what? Like her mindset, like this is all content in a show and a joke. And I'm like, yeah, but not when somebody's coming for you. Not when somebody has a record. Not when when you tell them, no, I don't want you on the show. I mean, God bless you, move on. And they don't move on. That's like, no. That's scary and sick is what I was trying to, no matter what.
That show hit a very low when they said, I wonder if Elisa knew about everything as well. That was just, why would they assume things and why would they voice their opinion? Something like this.
That's what I'm saying.
If they're going to do it, they should stick to the facts.
And why even do that? Like in other words, he's too, I know the motive is really weird, but the point about that is when he kept saying that, I would say to him when I was talking to him, when you want to know my conversations, I've never taken advice. I'm not one of those people. I've never listened to him in that way. It's more of me saying to him, why are you doing that? Why don't you move on? That was what my conversations with him was. Or why, if she doesn't want you part of it, or they don't want you, why do you?
I think we get the point. She's a bitch. She's always been a bitch. She's gonna stay.
No, it goes on. Lisa starts talking about us too. I want to get into all of it.
Is that the real her in the chat?
You know, by the way, congratulate Connor. He's the new co-host for Night Freaks, but he's a little. I don't know. We need to work on you, but you know, it's cool for right now. You know, we'll get into it tomorrow.
I'm new.
I'm gonna get this guy going.
You keep going in and instigating it, and so that was really my back and forth with him. And
he ever has. So his new topic is going to be Elisa every single night now.
Every night, and the next day after that show and all those $10 donations from, I guess, that Malice whatever, I texted him and I said, why are you doing that? If you're trying to get in some way good with her again, in any fashion or form, why do you keep immediately, if she gives you one fucking inch and takes your call or says, thank you very much, Jadis, I'm talking about Elisa now, why do you take that one little inch of kindness and assume then that you're now like the owner and the fiance and blah, blah, and you're ruling the channel? I go, that's messed up, dude. I go, did you do all that? Are you the one that posted all that about the fiance thing? And he texted me back, no, that wasn't me. I was sleeping. That was these other people. And I was, it's all bullshit.
Definition of fiance is one to be wed to.
Right. So that's just, I'm kind of just talking out of sorts right now what my beef was with him. But then it just coincidentally after talking to Penny, and then after I hung up with her, Elisa texted in the chat how she called a bunch of times in. And then she starts calling me again. So by the time I avoided it, and then I picked up, I go, why are you, I don't, because I don't want to get involved, to be honest. But I go, I'm trying to tell her, why are you calling? It's nothing, she's probably sleeping, or she's probably, she goes, I know, but I'm just trying to call to see if she's okay. And I go, I understand. So there's no talking.
It's really hard for me, Joni, when she's calling me like very wasted. Like, I know. Because I started freaking out that one day because she asked for my address, right? So, and I gave it to her, and that was probably the biggest mistake ever. Because now, she's talking to Jadis like all night long.
Right.
And then like she sent it to the wrong address, like this different address. And then she asked me for my address again. And like the mail got sent back to her. And I'm like, this woman is completely like, she's just not there. enough for
and
me to be sharing
that's
any
right.
information like
She's
that with her.
she's nice enough. She's a fan. She's good for the show as far as the drunk penny. And I like her. I do consider her a friend, kind of a sister as well. But I know the limits now. There's no.
I'm just afraid of her right now. Not that she has bad intentions, but I know she's easily shifted and manipulated. And Jadis is right in there.
In there.
You know, he goes for the weak ones. You know, that are easily taken, and she'll be.
No, that's your friend, Jimmy the Christian. He goes for the weak ones, like animals and little kids, Elisa. And then you actually expose him to the little kids that are the kids of your fans on your Discord, and Jimmy comes and gets them. That's reality, okay? Yeah. That's what we're talking about. You guys are over there in La La Land. You know what I mean?
And Elisa goes for the weak ones, too.
Who knows?
What?
Elisa goes for the weak ones too to bring on her stream.
Oh,
I can't trust anything like anybody says when they're criticizing other people online anymore. Like especially when it comes to this community, because everything Jimmy ever said was pure projection. And then what she's saying here is projection too, because she goes after people who are mentally deficient.
Right.
Knows what she told him, you know, private information of mine.
Exactly.
So that's what scares me about her. And I think she's a very nice person. I love when she calls in. I think she's extremely nice. She was one of my top picks for people being, you know, flown here. She's like one of my top people. She's extremely nice. She's one of my first callers I ever had for this. So I really appreciate her. But I have to think of my own safety, Joni. I got to cut her off.
Look, when I've called you like today, like when I thought, like after this call, and you text her and I said, come in Discord.
Did you just hear? She has to think about her own safety. I wonder if she's thought about our safety. You know, the ones giving her money.
Whatever. I don't call you back. I might text you again.
Thinking about the collective safety of our
nice conversation. I don't want to. The thing is, like right now, I just really don't want to talk anymore about Jimmy. I'm just tired of it.
I'm not. I didn't want to talk about Jimmy. I guess what I was.
Oh, it's getting so old talking about Jimmy.
They didn't even talk about it.
How I put him on my show for 8 years, and he's like grooming my
She just wants
viewers'
to forget
children,
that he exists
and
all entirely. Which a lot of the people in the community just want to forget him and like act like he doesn't exist. But the unfortunate reality is that he does exist, and every single one of us was oblivious to this shit.
So I think something happened to Joni, and maybe she's out of the community again, because she texted me while we were watching this. She's like, something happened again a few hours ago. And she's like,
okay, Connor, okay. This is like, I want you to text her back.
Can I tell you what she said?
Oh, you already texted her back? Okay, go ahead.
No, I haven't texted her back. She told me what she's. You
said something big happened.
Texted me 3 times. She said something happened a few hours ago. She said they're so cruel, and then she said I'm sorry. So I'm guessing maybe that means that she's out of the community. But yeah, I need to text her back.
I've already got my people in touch with her.
Mm-hmm.
Our people, Connor, because you're part of the show too. Your people are. We've already been in contact with her. I'm predicting that next week's call, it might just be Elisa and Wappy there.
Oh.
Unless Wappy wants to come here. He could come here and promote his new EP, Starlight Buttfucker.
Yeah, this is a new cool show.
What I was wanting to say, because it's kind of a little bit like that, I was so appalled by seeing those people reading that on that show. It just is so wrong. So that was one thing in defense of you.
We can't control what they do, Joni.
No.
Like, and then I control what they do. I'm not surprised by any of those people.
Right.
Any of those people that were typing in the sexual content.
Yeah.
Any of those people that were I'm not surprised by any one of those people. Not one of those people that did that was I like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. They're such an amazing person. I'm shocked. It was all the people that you'd immediately expect. Right.
Right.
So you know, you cannot change people how they act.
Right.
But, you know, you just, you know, you take the high road, right? So you're not saying any sexual content. You're not reading the manifesto to people.
Right.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to profit off this or try to profit off this. Let them do that, Joni.
Right.
Okay, so here's what we know, okay?
She's going to inadvertently, anyways.
Yeah, she's. We happen to know she took out a Craigslist ad about 6 hours ago. She's looking for somebody to stream with her in Miami. She's paying $16 per hour for Friday. So we know she's planning a show. She seems like she's doing the same routine she used to do. She's taking out Craigslist ads. She's going to, meet somebody that she doesn't know. And she thinks this is going to work. And Elisa, you don't have to be a genius to know that every single TTS message when you come back on is going to be about Jimmy and his victims, and you are going to profit off of that. So when you say that you're not going to make any money off of it, you are. And Grady George has made $0 off of it.
Unless she goes live and turns off the TTS, which she won't do.
No, she won't do it. And I would like for you to give the money to Howard Stern's favorite charity, the Beth's North Shore Animal League. Are you willing to make that commitment to Howard and Beth, for the shame you brought his name by name dropping him daily for 20 years and then running around with a perverted weirdo?
Yeah, this
Jimmy
that he banned off his show a long time ago, okay? And you should have listened to your hero, but you didn't. So why don't you go ahead and make that commitment when all your fans are like ripping on Jimmy's actions and his victims? I want you to give that money to Beth's North Shore Animal League, Elisa, please. So let's continue with the call.
Them show who they are. That's what they're doing right now. All those people like Jadis and Grady and the other guy.
Todd. Todd.
I mean, are you surprised by?
It'd be great because I'm sure Beth. I don't know if anyone has sent Beth that portion about the cat and the roommate and all that. I mean, I think she would really appreciate because she likes to defend animals and she has that charity. And this weirdo that has killed a bunch of animals in your name around Miami in churches to help your show. You could give the kitty cats a little piece of that action on Friday. Go ahead, Connor.
I just want to say she's talking like, I want to stop talking about it. It's not my fault I was around this guy. No, it is. You knew this guy was a creep. You knew he threatens people's kids. You knew he has a satanic fetish. You knew he likes to hang out in porta potties and do all this weird stuff. He acts very sexually strange around you. It's your fault that you brought this guy around us, and it's your fault that we're talking about it. And you're going to have to deal with it. And people are going to talk about it for the rest of your life that you let this guy around you. You're a sicko. And we're taking you off the internet one way or another.
I'm not saying I want to take... Connor has a bloodlust for...
No, not a bloodlust.
Well,
I just don't want her to, keep
I think that...
I just want her to stop victimizing these poor people.
Every day that passes, my contempt for Elisa rises. She wants to try to discredit me. She wants to call me a clout chaser. She fucked a guy to get on 2 appearances on Stern, and then she let a guy eat her out to take all of his IP2 viewers. So you take those 2 events in your life out of the equation, Elisa, you would have absolutely nothing. So you are a piece of trash to even talk about Grady George like that. You are so far beneath me. That's not even fucking funny. And I've been nothing but nice to you. I've offered you a chance to come on here. I still am. If you want to come on here and you want to make amends to your community, because everybody on here, we still kind of like you, except for Connor. He wants you gone.
I'm just disappointed.
But you have an opportunity right now to do the right thing. What I was saying earlier is my guy, he contacted the locker. No police has been there. It's been 5 days. I want Elisa to confirm she's given the confession to police. Please do that. I also want Elisa to confirm that she has told the police after she gives this confession to the police that you have a missing homeless assistant named Lindsay.
I think
whose family contacted you and they haven't heard from her since your last show that you did with her. Now, I talked to somebody very close to her, And that was not the last time she was seen. She actually came back from that with that guy. She was trying to throw it on this guy, Chase. But one of her people that is very connected to the show told me that she talked to Lindsay after that, and Lindsay had called her to ask for a ride to her storage locker. Now, does that sound familiar? The storage locker, the same thing we're reading about all through Jimmy's thing. Is it possible that she asked Jimmy to give her a ride to the storage locker? Okay, do you think that might have like wigged Jimmy out a little bit? I don't know. I don't even know if he was there. I don't even know if they streamed together. But you won't talk. You won't say nothing. Okay? This is what's going on, Elisa. And if you don't step up and do the right things, you're helping Jimmy. You don't even know if they have the confession. You don't even know if they know about the missing people around you. Okay? We were able to... there's another person that's missing. No one's looking for them, so I'm not going to talk about them. They may come up at some point. We've actually contacted every known associate of this person. They have not seen him since the last time Elisa saw him. And Elisa simply does not care. And this guy was last seen a couple days after Jimmy got into town. And I'm not even going to mention him because, no one's looking for him. Her family actually contacted Elisa, pleading for help. And I want her to tell them everything that's gone on, if she can. I think that is the right thing. I'm not asking you to go out of your way, and that would be some good stuff you could do. You're not going to be running around doing TTS because it's going to be nothing but Jimmy blood money. So you got to find a way to make money. You got a monetized channel now. Maybe a desktop stream would be good again. Maybe you can make some money off of it now that you have so many more viewers. I don't know. But that shit is fucked because you cannot do TTS now, man, ever, unless you're gonna like walk around with that blood money in your pockets, Elisa. So we have to like really like what happened to you is very bad. This fat ass freak has completely ruined your fucking life. But you have a lot of people that care about you that you are rejecting and shitting on that could help you, and you're hanging out with these fucking dumbasses that are giving you very bad advice. So I just want you to think about that, okay?
Todd, no, Todd, now I'm not. But let me tell you something, because I was like helping him, calling in. He wanted me to call and jokes and everything on a show about a month ago or whatever that was. But now that I watch him, a medicinal pot smoker. Come on, fucking, it's like insane to me. That's his business.
But like whatever these people do, like just let them do it. You're not going to change them. I don't care how many hours. I don't care how many hours.
I never saw him.
I don't care how many hours you talk to Jadis or Connor. You're not changing those people.
Right.
So
but I never saw Todd. Today was the first time I saw him storming into the car, saying that Lala was the IRL queen and singing and we love you. It's just, it grossed me out so bad. The fucker he acts all like, like, what I mean?
What do you mean he acts like something? He acts like nothing. He's like a dunce.
Right. He's full of shit now. And when he
called me, he doesn't even say anything of any value ever. Not once.
Yeah. Well, I thought so a little bit. I tried to help him before, but when he just called me, sister, I just unloaded because he first kind of called and then he goes, I just want to see what's up. And I said, not much, like I wasn't going to go there. And then he goes, well, it seems like you're really involved with the Lisa show. Like, what is that any of his business? And I said, okay. And he goes, well, that's, I forget what he said. It doesn't matter. But I said, I'm sorry, Todd, I can't be part of your show. And Colin, I don't agree with how you're acting and what you're saying on there. He goes, like what? What do you mean? Who are you to judge? Blah, blah, blah. And and then he starts bringing up your show. And I'm like, you know what? And I ended up like screaming at him. Like, don't you ever fucking put my name in your mouth on your show. I said, don't be talking about me. I said, I don't agree with you. I said, and your revenge bullshit, like these haters, your revenge talking now on your show, and you got some old lady that you're hanging out with. I said, it's all gross to me. I said, you're so much more, and I thought you wanted to do better. And that's where it went, and he said, I wish you well, and I said, fuck you, and I hung up on him. So that was, I'm like,
I just don't want you to get too upset about these people because they're just, It's not going to serve you well to be upset.
So thank you for letting me vent that all out. I wanted to tell you, I wish there was a way that you could, not an interview, but in some way to get on top of it. So those people.
I honestly, I don't care what Todd says or any of those people. I know my truth. I don't feel any pressure at all. I just feel like.
It's like Joni just rattled off like literally everyone Elisa has ever worked with, and she's sitting there acting like they're the one that has the problem. This bitch is fucking delusional.
Yeah, and
I want to let it go myself. I want to work on it myself. I want to let the feelings.
Todd is like the nicest guy ever. Every time Elisa comes up on Todd's show, Todd is like, "Oh yeah, it's okay. It was a good opportunity." He specifically goes out of his way to never say anything about bad about Elisa, despite Elisa saying she wants him dead, he's retarded, all these horrible things. Todd takes the high road, and that's who they're talking shit about. And yeah, Joni does need to mind her own freaking business when it comes to that stuff. So that's one thing Elisa got right there.
That I have right now, and I don't feel like a major. I don't feel like a major push inside. That I owe Todd something, or
not
Grady,
Todd. I'm not talking.
Or
I'm
Connor,
talking about
or Jada.
No. I don't think you do at all. No. And
I mean, the people that are here, that have been with us through the journey of meeting like 300 people like this year, new people. I think those people are smart people, and they understand that you're going to meet 300 random people that you're going to meet. There's going to be bad ones, right?
Oh my God.
So
now,
yeah, you might meet 300 random people, and there might be a few bad ones. But what about the guy that you knew for almost a decade, that you knew ate poop, admitted all this other fucking shit, and you put him on the fucking show? That's a real rando, Elisa. So you're comparing apples and oranges. You knew a guy who was a fucking weirdo, and you put him in our fucking lap, and you slapped your fucking name on it, and we all kind of trusted him because of that, okay?
Mm-hmm. It was the
you're
Jimmy
a fucking
and Elisa
piece
show.
of shit.
Now,
Tell her, Grady.
Elisa, right? Elisa, I called you Elisa. Oh my God, I sound like Duran.
That's okay.
Penny just fucking texted me. Hi, Joni, how are you? Like, I'm sure somebody's already called her. I'm not answering that call either.
Let me say something, Grady.
I'm sorry.
I think she's a nice person, but she's not. She doesn't have like, I think the word is like aptitude for this. Like, she doesn't have the she just doesn't have it. She can't decipher anything. So I think she's a very nice
Todd reached out. It doesn't matter.
Let her talk to Todd. Let her talk to Jada. She'll get her rocks off with them, and we'll do our own thing.
Right. That's right. That's absolutely right.
I don't feel any pressure to.
Yeah, we'll be over here doing our own thing, talking about those people, okay? I'm sorry, you're not doing your own thing, and you're fucked.
Cater to anyone, any hater, anybody that makes up stuff. I mean, the guy wrote a confession. You don't write to people that know what's going on a confession. You write to people that don't know what's going on a confession, right?
Or somebody who enabled it all and made it all possible, that is going to be his bride in hell.
Right.
So that's why they call it a confession. Anybody that's stupid enough to think that anyone here had any idea of what was going on, just let them be stupid.
Well, we definitely knew all about all the parts where he ate poop and stuff like that, which there were numerous parts in there, Lisa. So there was a big chunk of that manifesto you already knew about.
Who cares what they think? Who cares what those people think? I don't care. A confession is what it's called. It's people that don't know, that's what we sent it to.
The rag magazines, as I call them, like, remember the Inquirer and all that shit? That's how that Grady show felt to me. It was stinky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? You know what else was stinky? That satanic ritual magic trick where he was degrading the homeless black guy, jerking off, and he could smell how stinky and nasty it was, and it was getting Jimmy off.
Mm-hmm.
Did it smell like that, Joni?
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, it was just, yeah. So,
but just because he's like that, Like that shouldn't affect you at all. You're Joni. You're a great person. You're a caring person. You're an emotional person. You're a sensitive person. He doesn't have any of those qualities. None of those people on that page.
They're talking about Penny. That's Elisa's like one of her biggest donators, one of the nicest people in her streams, one of the most positive people in Kermit and Friends. That's the person they're talking about because she occasionally calls her and bothers her. They have to talk shit about her, and Penny's making up her own mind. That's why they hate her now, I think. I don't know.
All right. Well, I would like to urge. I mean, I think there's a lot of supporters over there. They're very nice people, and they've been there from the beginning. I've been there before IP2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I know all the original KNF people. I'm not a Elisa clout chaser. There was a group of KNF people that would watch me from the very beginning, and I think possibly Connor might even have been one of those people.
I was.
And they were telling me about Lisa, who I knew from Stern when I used to listen to it, and I had no respect for her. She was the person that fucked her way onto Stern, and also she is not Miss Howard Stern. The real Miss Howard Stern is Amanda OMB. She was named that for 1 year because they were trying to bring it back, and everyone was pissed off about it. It was very controversial, I remember, So right off the bat, I had a very bad taste in my mouth about her. But after I came there because of the fans, and I think that I used to listen to Stern, and I think a lot of them did. So I think that's why we get along, and that's how we got together. But
I never listened to Stern, but so I never even looked up all that stuff, the Miss Howard Stern stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just care about her victimizing people. Who is that?
Well, I'm sorry, Connor, but you just fucking I was making a point. You just cut me off right in the middle. Told me you didn't care about it. And I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying now. But Dana, I'm sorry, Connor, man. I'm just saying.
All right.
Dana, you're making a lot of noise in the back. I don't know if you have a TV on or something. I'll come back to you in a second. What the fuck was I talking about? I don't know. Connor didn't want to hear it, so let's go back to here.
Panel have your qualities. So you should be, grateful. I'm Joni. I'm not Grady. I'm not Jadis. I'm not any of those,
That's right.
people.
And I'm going to speak my truth about it. That's how I feel about it if I ever talk to any of those people again. And I just wanted to talk to...
Yeah, we're the bad people. We're the ones that, actually supported you,
someone today because I don't, I don't have anybody like I see, you know what I mean?
Oh, but anyway, I'm saying that as I was around for the last few years, she kind of grew on me, and I do think she's a talented, funny person. I think what she's doing is beneath her. You know what I mean? And she needs to, that's what I was going to say, but anyway.
To express this why I'm feeling this way.
There's so many people here, I think, that, really love you and like you and would talk to you. I just don't have the emotional capacity right now. Because my emotions are bad too right now. So if your emotions are bad and you're calling me, Petty's emotions are bad, she's calling me, I'm getting a...
Yeah, but she's calling to pull on you. I'm calling to support. I'm trying to support you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Joni. I don't have it in me right now.
No, you don't. I never would want to take something from you. I'm trying to...
No, I know. I know. You're very
good. What I'm saying? But anyway, okay, so the last thing I was just thinking, I don't know.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to say? Wappy, you have any thoughts, or Summer?
I just want to reiterate, you got to push these people's influence of making you feel upset. You got to push that away and take their power away.
Yeah, exactly. That she's making them super powerful. That they're even able to get to her at all. When I see people like this.
You know who made you super powerful? His name's Jimmy, and he was jerking off in a church to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm nowhere near you, Elisa. You're trash.
I just they're just they're trash to me. These kind of people that she's talking.
Yeah, thank you for that. I've repeatedly defended you, but we know who the real trash is, Elisa.
Talking about. So, I mean, I'm just not impressed with them. And Joni, I think, should have the same reaction instead of getting really upset, which is what they want, Joni.
Well, a few of them, because they know I'm sensitive.
We don't want you to get upset. I'm getting upset because you will do nothing. You don't want to get involved. You're the whole cause of the whole fucking thing. You don't think a guy that gave you a fucking manifesto where the back end's all about you, and I mean, you're running around with this guy, he's doing satanic magic, pretty much, I mean, look, Elisa, you need to go talk to the police. You need to fucking tell them what you know. You have two missing cast members. One of their family has contacted you. You don't think you need to call the fucking police? You don't think you need to do fucking anything? You don't need to at least let Lindsay's family know what has happened, so that maybe they could call the fucking police, or somebody, or maybe people in the audience need to start sending this to the police, this confession. I mean, we know where he was taken. If Elisa doesn't want to do it, and let them know Elisa has had a copy since the very beginning and distributed it to people on the internet instead of the police.
Have that little crew?
Because the police have still not checked that storage locker, and it's Wednesday and it's been 5 fucking days. And if they had seen that fucking thing that I saw, they would have been there the fucking next day. He did not give it to him, Elisa. You were helping Jimmy evade justice. Get off your fucking ass and do something. You're not going to be able to make money off homeless people this Friday. It's not going to work. Go ahead.
You see what you're doing? You're playing the video, you're stopping it, and then you're ranting, and you got mad that I tried to say something. I'm new to this. Please don't get mad at me. I'm here to help you. I won't be here if you
Connor,
yell at me.
I'm not mad at you at all. I know you're sensitive. I'm not mad at you at all. Okay.
All right,
I'm gonna coddle you from now on. Okay.
Okay. Please do.
I will. But we'll talk. We're gonna talk the next show. Hopefully, this nightmare will be over, and we can start getting some of that Connor QT time in.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, because I have a feeling this guy is going to be a very successful podcaster in the future. Every single co-host I've ever had has went on to big things. I don't want to. If I fucking even told you who they were, it would be like a litany of. It would be like I was just dropping names for the hell of it. Connor's just the latest in a long line of people that. I think are going to be very good. And it's not because of me; it's because I have very good taste, and I don't work with just anyone. So there's a reason why I picked Connor.
That you're talking, those 4 people kind of know me a little bit more, like through the 4 or 5 months I've been involved. So that's why when the call or whatever they voice to me, they think it's going to affect me and sway me.
Yeah, you're like their perfect target, Joni. You're their perfect target, and I hate that. For you.
I know.
Joni, their journey right now is they're like a clout chaser or ambulance chaser.
Yeah.
They're not being empathetic. If they're not being compassionate, block them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right.
And this is the time when the good people really shine.
Yeah.
The compassionate people, the people that are caring. This is where you find your friends at times like this. Times like this is where you see who is real. Like, who is real, right? The people that are not real, they'll expose themselves as well. The roaches, the vultures, all those people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, that's bullshit. Like, this is the time where we'll meet our friends. Jimmy the pedo went to jail. Now we're all going to, everybody who's a yes man, get together and be friends just right now.
Well, she is very correct, though. I agree with her. The roaches are going to expose themselves. And I think they're being exposed tonight. And her name's Elisa. And her name is Joni, and his name is Wappy. And by the way, I don't want to interrupt, but he does have a new EP out called Starlight Buttfucker, if you're interested.
Come out. But the beauty of this is also, and this time we see that people, like that one day when it first happened, I remember, when I first got that email with the confession in it, like I read like 2 words and I immediately went to Discord.
That is true. I had people telling me, please do not send your mother-in-law. And I was like, you're overreacting. You know what I mean? She literally had a serial animal killer, poop eater, church desecrator running around. I mean, I can't even believe I even thought about that. Yeah. Fuck you, Elisa. I bet you thought you were doing me a favor too. Shove it up your cunt, bitch.
Help. And I wrote help. Yeah. I needed help, and there was nowhere else that I thought to turn but the Discord server. Just no one I thought of calling. Nobody, like, not my parents. I would never tell them about this.
I'm calling for everybody to leave Elisa. I like Leap. I think he's very talented. I've got a pretty good crew over here. He's welcome to work with me anytime he wants to.
There's so many
I actually, when she got rid of Leap, like, 6 months ago and trashed his ass. I thought about contacting him because I do need producer work, but there's other people for you, Leap. You need to. Joni, I think, is already gone. I would like Leap to leave her because that would be a big blow, and you are supporting her, Leap, and you cannot possibly, if you have any sway over her, have her do the things we talked about tonight. I think that would be a very positive thing in the community, and it would shut us up, But until then, you're baiting her, and you're, have you contacted the police? You're very intimately involved. You might be putting yourself in danger just talking to this lady.
No siblings, no, what they call IRL friends. I would never tell anybody like that. I don't want them to know about this. I didn't tell anybody, but I told the Discord.
And Wappy, I don't want you. Okay, so I want next week. I want it to be Elisa and Wappy, and I want to hear the displeasure in Elisa's voice. It's going to be very, very awesome.
Because I knew they would be there, in a nice way. And I said, help, please help. I'm freaking going crazy. Something crazy just happened. I'm really scared. And then I was getting the calls from the jail. It kept saying jail, 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 incoming call, jail. I was about to have a heart attack. And I knew, it was crazy. He kept calling me, over and over. And I knew the only place to turn in that moment when I wasn't even thinking straight, I was just in a state of an adrenaline, intense panic, was the Discord, because people have watched Jimmy. They saw that, I didn't love the guy or anything, but he was with me for 100 hours and he cared. Yeah. He seemed to care about the show. I think people really saw that. And, it's a big loss in many different ways. He was somebody that came in that really he came in saying he wanted to help me. And I'll never forget, I went into the Scientology office years ago, and they were interviewing.
You know who else came into your life like that? His name was Jimmy.
Interviewing me, and one of the questions they asked me, which made me cry immediately, was, has anybody ever come into your life claiming to help you, but they actually hurt you? And this rings true in this case is, Jimmy came in, he said he was going to help the show. He was helping it. He made my life so much easier. Was he the most great person to hang out with? No, definitely not. He's a weirdo, but I have a lot of mixed feelings about this because that's a loss to me too, that I had somebody that seemed to care. And I've had a lot of people on the show that didn't give a fuck at all, that were using me. It was very obvious. People that came in using me really badly and didn't care about the show. Finally, there was somebody that came in to be on it that seemed to genuinely like it, and want to help it. And I mean, when he touched my butt, obviously, I had mixed feelings about that too, because I was did that really happen? A lot of times when that happens to women, we are thinking, oh, did I make that up in my head? Was that real? I went over it a million times in my head. Did I exaggerate that or not? It was so confusing. Yeah. So when I got that email, it reconfirmed, okay, I was not exaggerating. That was real, what I felt. So there was pain in that too. So, it's pain, it's loss of, somebody believing in my dreams, which, I know a lot of people do. But it was he was in person there helping, hiring people, making it so much easier for me. So even though he was kind of weird.
Let me interrupt for one second. I think it's going to help you even. Why are you doing this?
I'm sorry?
Why are you in this business, right?
Why am I in this business?
Yeah. It's to grow, right? It's to scale.
I mean, I really love it. I love it.
No, but do you love it if I charted your engagement or whatever and it was a crashing thing, you wanted to scale, correct? But isn't the goal to then it's not a job, it's a hobby, and then it's gonna be it's not gonna function. But my point was, so every business is in the business of making money with more money with money. So if you just did stats on the numbers, my point was what if when she's getting bothered by that guy or whatever the problem was, her views go up. So like it can't be real. No, but it can't be real life. If you're in this business, if you're in the business of streaming content, you got to be able to be like, this is a business. And yeah, this guy fucking with me and making me look depressed. It has a spike in my viewership, so that's what I'm gonna fucking do. And then realize the whole thing is like it's like working. It's two different things. Like you wouldn't give a fuck, if you just cared about.
Can I ask you a question, Coral, sweetheart? Wait, have you been here in the last few days?
No, I don't know much about the whole thing. That's what I was going to ask you guys. I
really appreciate you helping, but
no, but I know you're type of I know these type of people who are like not. It's smart to see. Like I know these two brothers. One of them is a genius, a neurosurgeon or whatever. He's always in his hole, fucking looking homeless. The dumber one is a dentist, and he's a multi-million. Like this is the thing. A lot of smart people just don't give a fuck about money. I don't.
Okay, so I do want to hear about like scaling. That's very interesting, but okay, so let me just look and see what people are saying. So that's that we could do a whole thing on that. But just right now, Joni's upset because I had a co-host, Scoro, that I thought was really helpful and he was really nice to me. And it turns out he's like a totally different person than what we all thought. So it was like kind of a shock to the community. He turned himself in.
Yeah, not all of us, but don't speak for me, Elisa. I was literally in the chat. Any Jimmy appearance, you could see Grady George in the chat saying, Elisa, he eats poop, get away, danger, danger, Mm-hmm. It's so funny.
Yeah.
For molesting children.
I know, I saw something in my YouTube recommendations about it. I didn't know, how true or whatever.
That's why everyone's really upset right now because Joni,
that's very bad. I mean, if he did do that, he turned himself in. So I mean, that's self-admission.
Yeah.
We should definitely disown him. I mean, wow.
Yeah. No, he's in jail for life. He's in jail. You know who it is? Rappy.
That guy who was taking upstairs of you, was that real?
Here's the thing. Can I say something?
By the way, not only do I like K-Hole, she's my favorite current live stream. And if you, she's a desktop streamer, but it's a crazy stream. You can get her link in my community tab. I was on there yesterday. She's an old Stern person. She belongs in IP2 far more than Elisa does. She's like an old school IP2 person. IP2 would love her. If you're an IP2 person and you're into that, check out K-Hole. Get her on IP2 and kick this shrew off.
I always felt kind of weird about the guy. I felt like he fucking killed somebody. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. So he's in jail for life. We don't have to worry about him anymore. But
I like how Weppy's like, well, actually, I gotta say, I kind of feel like you killed somebody. Yeah. Well, anyway, she doesn't want to talk about this at all, man. Okay.
But it's how the community's reacting to it has been crazy. There's a lot of finger pointing, and then there's been a group in particular that's really gone on the attack of me and this Discord server, even though
it's so interesting when you think about it though, because I remember, I've been around for a while. I remember hearing about he had a storage locker that Gonzo wanted the key to that had a bunch of stuff. Remember that? It had sex toys and deviant materials that he had allegedly rejected out of his life, but really he's doing much worse.
So he's a very sick guy, right? So I think he has just an illness that is just he's in jail for life. We don't have to worry about him anymore. But the other things that I guess especially Joni's worried about, and I think is affecting her, is the negativity. Not just do we have to deal with
K-Hole has history with Jimmy too. She's interviewed him, and she's from the Stern. I mean, he's been running around there, so she has some stories to tell as well. If you're into the Jimmy stories,
that negativity, but now it's a lot of other people kind of coming for us, trying to kind of just paint me in a bad light, the whole show in a bad light, everybody in the Discord server in a bad light, and I'm just telling Joni. Those people will always be like that. No matter what's going on, they'll always be that way. So the way they're reacting to this does not surprise me at all. So I just want like Joni and like everybody to like try not to be affected by it. Like I tried to go out today. Been trying to like live normally and, you know, get back. I want to get back into streaming. I'd love to do that. But, you know, I had to kind of change the way I look at it a little bit and be a little bit more.
I think you should dual stream. You should stream on YouTube and kick.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very good.
You just use have you ever heard of Restream?
Yeah.
It's this thing. Yeah, I think you used that. I'm pretty sure you were using that when you did your.
Why is Wappy even there? You know what I mean?
He's not helping at all. Dude.
I think Elisa's main advisor is Wappy. I think everything's becoming very clear right now.
Yeah,
podcast because you were on like Facebook and you were on YouTube. But yeah, I think you should stream on there too.
Yeah, I think
someone took Elisa Jordana though. They used to come in my chat. They took that username, so you got to complain to Kick and it's just some troll.
I'm ready to do that yet, but but I will in the future maybe. I'm just
be amazing.
Yeah, maybe it would be good. Okay, look, I'm looking for Joni. I do not see her. She left. Hopefully, she's not upset.
Yeah. Well, I think we provided everything we could, and I think sometimes it's hard because people they're looking for more comfort than you can provide, you know, or
and
whatever.
That's the thing. That's why even you know that guy, the caller John Mellencamp, right? He called me yesterday to talk about this. I do not have good words about this. I don't have any brilliant stance on it. No, I'm just as surprised as everybody else. And I also like don't know what to do. A lot of people are saying to do different things. I don't.
We don't want good words, Elisa. You got a very disturbing manifesto sent to you, and you did nothing. You know, you're not planning to change anything. You're going to go out and do a stream Friday. We already know that. And you're looking for a homeless person to pay $16 to. And then you're going to humiliate them, and it's going to be nothing but Jimmy, victim TTS money. I want you to give that money to Howard Stern's North Shore Animal League. I want you to pledge to that, or don't do it. Either way, you can't keep that money. I mean, you can, but if you do, well, don't you know how that's going to look, Elisa? You know what I mean? So let's get real here. Or unless you're just that fucking dumb, okay? You're that fucking big of a cunt that you're going to sit there and get $500 from people making fun of a guy that victimized not only children and animals, but your fucking audience. And you need to take accountability.
I don't want to do anything right now. I just want to kind of like heal from it until I have something positive to share. Like right now, I don't feel like I have anything positive to share.
This is wild. This is going to definitely bring a lot of attention because, and it's none of our faults, you know, it's no one in KF's fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's not Leaf's fault. It's not anyone in this chat's fault. He did what he did. You know, behind closed doors or
nobody ever thought. Nobody would ever thought. Everybody was in the dark. That's why he sent the confessing to things that we
Well, at least he turned himself in, though.
Hey, Elisa, I know Jimmy, as long as you know Jimmy, we knew he was a little weird with the scat, but that was about it. We were all deceived. So no one should feel guilty about anything.
Yeah, no,
Oh, it was just a little bit of scat. You know, he would eat every month $300 worth of poop brownies. He was paying a cam girl to make, you know. So, yeah, it was just a little bit of poo.
Here's the thing. He could have kept going. He could have kept going and committing crimes. He stopped. So still, fuck him. He's bad for that. But thank God he fucking stopped. There was at least a sliver of...
yeah, God's the one that stopped him. Elisa never did. So, yeah, thank God, you know, he was stopped by God, not Elisa.
Guilty conscience in him.
Yeah. But I just like, so now I think what everybody's dealing with is just like other people now, right? So like people coming in Discord asking for that manifesto that we don't know. I would say don't send it to those people. They don't have good.
Still, by the way, what I've noticed here is that she hasn't said a bad word about anyone but the people on this show. And she's talked about Jimmy many times, and she doesn't really even say anything bad about him or anything. I mean, so you don't want to say something bad about Jimmy. That would be wrong. But you're going to talk about me. You're going to talk about Connor. You're going to talk about Jadis. You're going to talk about Lala. You're going to talk about Todd. Well, between all of us, we have eaten 0 turds. Okay. You need to put shit in perspective.
Good, like, intentions through that. Like, these people that are asking for it, they have like the worst intentions, and they're just. It's bad. It's a bad feeling to have people like want that for their own like pleasure. It feels weird. So yeah. So I'm just gonna try to anybody like that just comes in looking for the manifesto. I think I'm just gonna immediately ban those people. Anybody like that's doing any negative stuff like towards like anyone here, I'm gonna ban those people. The people that are like clout chasing off of it is really sick. Those people we don't want anything to do with. Trust me, I'm sure right now I could be streaming with Lala every day doing very well, but I choose not to because it's just too negative for me right now. So, and I don't want people like that anymore.
Yeah, streaming with Lala is just too negative, after what you caused the entire community.
Lala wants nothing to do with her.
I'd rather hold out and wait for somebody that I can trust, that I think has good intentions, and that to me will feel a lot better. It wouldn't feel good to me right now just to go live with whoever just to do it. I'd rather wait for somebody that I would feel like good about. And
are you talking about that person you're looking for today in Craigslist for $16 on Friday? Is that the person you're looking for? That long search you're looking for that partner? You're full of shit, Elisa.
Excited about. And I really was sick. Like I was streaming with her and honestly streaming with Jimmy. I had like a sick feeling the whole time. I didn't know, but I had like some kind of intuition about it. So just to protect myself, I'm going to just try to keep good people in here. The people that I know are good. And that Grady guy, I knew he was not good ever. I knew that guy.
No, that guy's a piece of shit. I want to punch him in the face. I know that. I shouldn't say that.
The people are very, very obvious that are good and bad, right? So like James Ward.
Apparently, Jimmy wasn't. You know what I mean? The Grady George is bad, and Wappy wants to punch me in the face. Well, Wappy, I don't want to fight you because you always bring a gun. You know what I mean?
I had no idea Wappy was such a simp. Like,
if I showed up at Wappy, he would pull his gun out, and then he would just punch me in the face, and I couldn't do anything. So my move would be I would just go up to Wappy and put his gun right in my mouth and call him a bitch.
Yeah, I don't have
because I would rather
I don't know why he's simping so bad though.
I would rather die than get punched in the face by someone calling themselves Wappy.
Really very obvious, Jadis. Very obvious. These people are obviously have terrible intentions. So let's just try to stay clear of them, I'd say. And even Penny, I mean, I really like Penny, but right now I just feel like it's not good for me to be talking to her. She has too much poison in her ear from different people, and she's easily manipulated. Yes.
Do you have Telegram, or does anyone here have Telegram? I just started a Telegram.
What is
well, it's kind. I guess it's kind of like Discord, but it's. Yeah. I set one up. Yeah.
No, but it's the only good thing about it is that those two Russian brothers made it, and they don't. How do you know him? I was going to say,
Discord. Nothing's better than Discord. Come on.
No, Discord gets a lot of flack. I think it's t.me/. I
think that's pretty much what they say about us.
Okay. Well, that was a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, we got Dina. What do you want to add?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Dina.
Not bad.
Hey, a few things real quick. Because this 48-minute audio interview she did has my blood boiling on a few levels. First of all, she thinks she has this godlike complex, Elisa, that she can decide that someone is a bad person because they're doing a show and talking about what the monster Jimmy has done. So she gets to decide that you are a monster, this person's a monster. She gets to decide, but yet she did a 48-minute show with that wacko Joni about Jimmy, but that's okay. But you can't do it. It has to be only her. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And,
I mean, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. She's not a good person.
No, and the way she was trashing you and I'm shocked she didn't trash me, but because she does, but she did not on last night when she did that 48-minute show about Jimmy today. She's trashing people, but she won't say anything bad about the monster. But you're a bad person, and the reason you're a bad person is because you're doing a show about it and you're talking about it. And like in her world, she can turn people against anybody that does something she doesn't want them to do. She's not God.
Yes, she's projecting. She's the bad person, not us.
Yeah, she's horrible. And then, like, the way she's talking about you guys, I don't think you
guys... It doesn't affect me at all, honestly.
You guys didn't do anything the monster did. And who the hell was she to decide who is allowed to talk about it and who is not, and in what context? And then that wacko that called her Joni, she started it all with how hurt she was over people talking about it and this and that. But she's participating with Elisa about talking about it. Like,
I know
the hypocrisy of that 48-minute show she did or whatever is amazing. It goes to show how depraved and sick Elisa is, that she's so arrogant with her godlike complex that she decides who she's going to turn against people, and who can have a show about it and who can't. And then Joni bad-mouthing people and acting like she's crying over it. And I mean, she was bad-mouthing everyone. It was disgusting what I just heard. Disgusting. And Elisa,
right.
she really needs professional help. She is out of her mind with all of this.
Yes.
Well, okay, Dina, we're about to get off of here.
Yeah.
Give me your final word for tonight.
Elisa, if you want to do the right thing next time you have a show and like what was said, donate your money for either victims of animal abuse or child abuse.
Connor.
Thanks for having me on, Grady. I'll get better, at all this.
Jadis, do you have a word? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Anyway, my last words are: I would like everybody to write the Howard Stern Show. Ask them why they're letting this person that is trying to sweep animal torture under the rug use his name.
Yeah.
And what else? Oh, I want you guys to please go to my community tab and spread the Where's Lindsay hashtag. And hopefully we can get her to at least do the right thing there as well. But we'll be back tomorrow night at midnight for Night Freaks. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Thank
Connor, Dina, Luna, who called in earlier. Thank you all very much. But until then, I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Security for Mr. George provided by Bond International Security of Anaheim.